Know My Steez, episode 13 of Marvel's Luke Cage. So, we continue right off as you're going, and we probably had almost 28 minutes of fight scene of superpower destruction. And the great thing about it was they really displayed the power of each individual of Luke Cage and Diamondback in his power suit. It kind of seemed like it was a back and forth struggle, but for some reason it just seemed like Luke Cage had this superhuman endurance. But something about Diamondback's suit kind of seemed like the anger here was he kind of was able to keep up the strength and maintain the pace. I don't know if that was a Hulk reference or anything like that, but the funny thing was there's so many hip hop stars appearing in this. I'm pretty sure the guy from Run DMC was like, "Get up, Luke, you're going to let him beat you down," or whatever he said. Quality of the fight, they destroyed many props and cars were getting smashed and bent in, and they looked like it was very practically well done. It looked like there was an absolute minimal, I couldn't even really tell if there was any CGI really used there, but there probably was in background. Yeah, it was just all out great display of power. Along with the storyline was Mystia arrests Mariah to charge her with Cottonmouth's murder after having Candace's confession, and it seems like a good thing. All after the battle, Mariah gets arrested. The community really shows his support for Luke Cage by saying, "Who would ever know that a black man in a hoodie would become a superhero?" Which was really huge social commentary about after, if you know the news about the dude in the hoodie who got shot, Tyrone, I can't remember the name, it was really big. But even after that, Luke actually turns himself in, and the funny thing is Claire says she knows a good lawyer. Geez, was it Matt Murdock, the Daredevil? Most likely, of course. But it went well. He was doing that. He also really accepted who he was, how he was. He could feel the heart and soul of Harlem, how Harlem is a beacon of the black community in the world. It's a shining light. Harlem is what made him, why he exists is Harlem. He is Harlem. Luke Cage is Harlem in the whole other black community sense than any other superhero. You have Daredevil, he probably has his little following, but I think Luke Cage, he has great community support compared to any other superhero on that level. It seems like he's just going to do his battles in his little area. Shades ends up killing Candace, which kind of gives us the loss of hope, because Candace was the key witness, and now that she's dead, reasonable doubt is there. And it kind of gives you a sense of loss, because now Mariah is able to get away. This is the beginning of the roller coaster ride of this ending, how it goes up and down, because it kind of goes even further, because Luke can't clear his name because he doesn't have a file to clear his name anymore. It kind of makes me a little nervous. Look, I was rubbing my hands while I was describing that. It just felt like this was going to be going downhill, and then it goes even further down, and Luke Cage is being arrested for escaping from maximum security prison Seagate. So it's just and you know what? This is I can't really recall anything in television really kind of making an ending like this. Is this kind of like the web series storytelling ending? I'm not quite sure. It's kind of tough to say, because it's still kind of early to say how these kind of storytelling is going to develop now. It seems like Netflix is onto something. But back onto the up and down roller coaster, then all suddenly we get a scene going back to Harlem Paradise, where the music is all starting. It kind of seems as calm. The love of Harlem still going about. The torches are being passed, and eventually the dude in the barbershop, Pops' place, he finds that file that was being offered as, parlay, which is like, all right, we got some positiveness, and it really kind of brings you back up in a good way. I did feel good about it. The whole Harlem music scene throughout it was just absolutely amazing. All the tunes were great. There were so many cameos by so many stars, because even in the last episode when Luke Cage was breaking up the convenience store robbery and saving Redman, the robber was Method Man. I had no idea. I just kind of saw it in the credits as they were running at the end of last review. But overall, I gotta say, it was really good. They did a lot of steady shots with the camera work, which made it very effective in the shakiness of the cam to give it the great chaos. But they didn't overdo it. It was kind of like good flowing, so it made the storytelling really good. Everything looked beautiful about it. There were so many well done night shots. I always have a love for night shots, because it's just something about being able to make night look so much more magical on film, it seems. The overall story was really good. The only thing I really had down that I just wasn't with was they did the traditional background story of everybody, and they kind of stretched it seemed like with each episode, but they do that in every television series, and this is kind of like, it is classified web series, but this stuff is still developing. The directing seemed good. All the characters were strong. The character who played Luke Cage was fantastic. Rosario Dawson as Claire was great. She's got so much experience, so compared to everybody else there. The person that played Detective Misty, she played fantastic. I really liked what she did. And even the guy who played Shades, oh my god, he was such a great scumbag. And he, even at the end, as him continued to take on the role of like crime boss with Maria, he just seems sleazy, and he portrays it so well. It's just the only really weak actor was for Maria. I just it really shone through at the end when she was trying to lie in her interrogation. It was either that or she was trying to act like a bad liar. I don't know. I just did not like how she was portrayed as a character, as like a. There was even a certain scene I even kind of commented earlier in the reviews in episode 2, I believe, where it seemed like she was kind of like this Harlem Night arm candy, but trying to look as a figure of power, which it just really didn't portray her as a powerful figure throughout the entire series. She does hold a strong position, but we'll see how she develops. If they do season 2, there's been no announcements about it. But overall, it's a great season. But overall, it was a great series. Everything was strong about it. The scenery, the feel of the city, the directing, the just progressive storytelling about it. Everything was good. It was as my friend, as our fellow reviewer Luke, leader of Video McNasties. He said this is HBO quality of the upper echelon of storytelling on network television, and Netflix is really doing it well. I'm probably not going to review any more of the Marvel series. I do want to stay on track of like the horror sci-fi kind of stuff, even though this is kind of like it is fantasy, sci-fi, action, crime, drama. Did I just list off all those genres for this series? Yeah, but not only that, this has to be one of the best pieces of blaxploitation ever produced as a series, especially as a web series. Maybe that is what they were able to get away with as a web series, as was doing the whole blaxploitation. There was so many black actors. It was just so it was black and it was beautiful. It truly was a story that wasn't your typical crap where you have a whole bunch of white guys in fucking capes flying around saving, the planet. It was a really nice change. Actually, this whole the Defender stuff, like with this whole Harlem Marvel Knights people. It's a really nice change because they're not super powered. They can be injured, and you know, they really have social lives because they have to live double lives because they have to, like, you know, feed themselves. They're not like sponsored by Shield or Tony Stark. They're independent. They have to go do work. So I kind of got to look at like how does Luke Cage fund himself. He was working at a restaurant, but now he's not. So we'll see what if he gets a job, if he ever gets out of, when he gets out of prison, he will. Because you know, Power Fist is coming out. Oh no, Iron Fist. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I got that. So yeah, I am Jay, leader of channel J.TV. I hope you enjoyed this series, and we'll have more with the host.